Hey you guys, coming to you from Norwegian Escape, my balcony room. And I just wanted to do a video for you all, just pointing out a few things that can help you if you're a first time cruiser, or if you haven't cruised in a while, or maybe some new things that you just didn't know. So, I'm on the last day, hopefully, of my cruise. It was supposed to be a 7-day, but it kind of turned into an 11-day because of Hurricane Irma, but that's a whole nother video. So today, I just want to show you some things that may help you if you are a first-time cruiser. So, I'm going to start off by saying, get to the port early. Okay, so if you're flying out, it wouldn't hurt to fly out a day in advance so you can kind of get comfortable with your surroundings, find out where the port is, how much it costs to get to the port, if you're going to take an Uber, if you're going to use the cruise ship company to take you to the port, which does cost extra. So that's tip number one. Take an Uber. It costs a lot less. It's about like 25 to 27 bucks a person when you're going through the cruise line. I don't think it's as high as 27, but who knows? They may just throw some taxes on that. So be prepared for your transportation to the port. When you get to the port, you will wait in a line to get through security. Once you've gone through security check, if you decide to bring on any champagne, any wine, or anything like that, then you have to go to another line for that, which it does cost $15 cork fee for each bottle. So you want to be prepared for that. If it's a important night, maybe for you and your mate, and you want to bring a particular wine or champagne, maybe the $15 isn't so bad. Yes, they have wine on board, but it may cost more than the wine you bought and the cork fee. So, you know, check out your options. You can call the cruise line ahead of time and find out prices online for their bottle prices. They do have alcohol as well on the site, which you may find to be cheaper than getting either the drink package or buying drinks individually. You can just have a bottle of something in your room, which may cost you about $90 to maybe $150, depending on what you want. So check the cruise line for that. Okay, so once you're through, you paid your cork free prices, then you're gonna go to another line where they will take your information that you've probably put in online already when you registered online. They're going to print you some cards, and then they're going to ask you, do you want a cash account, or do you want to use your debit card? Very important. In my opinion, pick cash account. That way you can put how much you want to put on the card. So say, for example, you don't want to spend over $500 for your whole cruise, but onboard spending, you put the $500 and they will alert you when you're getting close to spending all that money or when you already have. So I'm just going to show you guys a quick paper here. I folded it so my personal information won't show. So for example, this is charges on board that I did in a day, from video arcade to maybe buying something at the gift shop to maybe buying a drink, which I did have the drink package this time, so I'm just saying that as an example. And we'll get to the drink package in a second. So yes, so each day on board, you're going to pretty much get a paper showing you what you're spending, if you have gotten close to having no money left on your account, or if you have gone over. But I feel that a cash account is best, because if you put a debit card on file and you go over what your debit card has on it, it's going to hit your debit card, and it's going to continue to hit your debit card until you're at insufficient funds. And then you have another problem. then with your bank. So I think if you just put enough cash on there, check it daily, don't go over, that works, you know, best. And then you can leave your cruise with less stress on your mind. You don't want your American Express card going over. You don't want things like that. All right, so that's the next tip. So once you then get your card, you will be led on to the cruise ship. Most cruise companies give times now to when you can board. So maybe your boarding time is 11, maybe the next person's is 12. This is kind of what they do to have order. So that way you'll know, okay, let me show up to the cruise port around 12 because that's my time. Okay, for those who need assistance, you can tell them that online ahead of time, that you are in a wheelchair or that you use a cane or that you need assistance. And some companies will send you something in the mail, that way you can show it when you get there. Or, to tell you the truth, they don't give too much of a problem with letting you on if you feel like you can't stand on the line, and you just let them know your issue and they'll assist you. Sometimes they give a problem with the whole family going if you have a lot of people with you, but most of the time you'll get someone nice and they'll just let the family go with, because why break up a whole family, right? Okay, so once you are on the ship, pretty much your vacation is beginning. Okay, the rooms may not be ready, most of the times they aren't, but you can start eating, you can start getting on the water slides, you can start doing the things in the public area. Okay, and then once your room is ready, they will let you know on the loudspeaker, and then you can go to your rooms. Once you get to your room, you will see things like a mini bar. You will see things like waters on the counter. Don't touch it just yet, okay? So this is my next tip. Those things are not free, okay? So the mini bar, nothing in there is free. So unless you're looking to pay about $5-6 for those little mini bottles of alcohol, and unless you're willing to pay about $6 a bottle of water, you may not want to touch that. Get your water from upstairs. It's nice and cold. Put some ice on it, because yeah, I had that moment where I thought my water was free, and I drunk it. It tastes so good, and then it was $6 on my account, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what is this? You gotta pay it, you know. So I learned the hard way, so you won't. Okay, so you're in your room, vacation has begun. About an hour or two in, you are going to be asked to come to a drill. So you're gonna go to a muster station. It's called a muster station. And if you have kids with you, they're gonna be given a wristband, which they have to wear throughout the cruise. Okay, it'll have their name on it or some type of number, depending on the cruise line. And the muster drill lasts about 20 minutes. And, you know, they show you how to use a life vest and things like that. And after the drill is over, they let you run free. Okay? Now, as far as if you have children, they do have daycare hours or childcare hours. And you want to be careful not to exceed the time, because they do have time where it costs, like usually during lunchtime and things like that. Yeah, those are the times where it will cost you about $6 an hour for your child to stay in the camp. So make sure you're aware of those times if you do not want to incur those extra costs, okay? Let's see what's next. So there will be dinners, there will be events. You will receive something that looks like this in your room every day. So let's just scan it real quick. And what is this? This is your freestyle daily paper. So that's freestyle for Norwegian. Everybody has their own sayings, okay? So pretty much that paper is going to tell you what's going on around the ship. Okay, it's going to tell you about activities, events, It's going to tell you what time the pool closes, what time certain restaurants are open. If those restaurants are free, you won't see a star or a $sign next to it. But if it's not free, you will see either a $sign or a little star next to it. That'll let you know it costs, okay? And next, there usually is a restaurant or two that's 24/7. So that means you can go there anytime up during the cruise, and it's always something to eat. Usually it's pizza on most ships, but this ship, they have some great food. The Norwegian Escape has great food. So they have a place called Oceans where you can go, you can get hot wings, you can get tacos, you can get nachos, you can get burgers, which if you've been partying all day and having fun, but you missed the times to eat in the kitchen, then, you know, that'll be good for you because you can actually get a meal, which most ships you only can get pizza. So let me make that clear. It's not every ship. Okay? So like I said, each day you will get a bunch of these papers in your room. You'll get one a day. And it'll tell you day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and so on, depending on how many days your cruise is. So for example, like I told you guys, we were supposed to be off of this cruise in 7 days, and look what day we're on now. Day 11. So they pretty much stick to their program. No matter how many days you're here, they're gonna stick to it, and they're gonna have stuff for you to do. So again, if you want to do things like use the phone because you have an emergency and you need to call home, but you don't want to use that cell phone at sea, okay? Understand, it will come with some steep charges. My first cruise, which was many years ago, I didn't know better, and I used my cell phone, and I used it a few times. It wasn't, you know, a lot of times, but when I got home, I had an $800 bill, and I will never forget that bill. And it taught me early on that when you have your cell phone and you're at sea and you have it on Wi-Fi and you have your internet usage going, you're gonna get charged for that, and it's gonna cost. So make sure you have it on airplane mode. If you have a package through the ship, okay, cool. But call your cell phone company and let them know where you're traveling, and they should be able to give you some type of plans that you can use while in port, okay? So again, if you're using it on the cruise ship, make sure you have a plan with the cruise ship company, so that way you won't incur, you know, a huge bill at the end. Okay, what's next? Okay, so so if you've cruised before, you know, you may be a Latitude member, and that comes with things like wine and waters. It depends on how many times you've cruised with that company. So for example, this time they gave us some sparkling wine because we've been on about 4 cruises with them. So every time you cruise, you will receive something eventually. Not the first cruise, maybe not the second, but by the 3rd you should be getting, you know, something to show that they appreciate that you're coming back. All right, let's think anything else. It's so much I can tell you guys. I'll say make sure you make the budget very strict, okay? If you know you don't have unlimited funds. So if you're gonna go to the casino, have your money for the casino. If you want to go shopping, have a budget for shopping. If you want to do an excursion, have money for an excursion. Let's talk about the excursion really quick. I know a lot of you, when you are a first-time cruiser, you're scared to book off of the ship, and I totally get it. I didn't book off the ship until probably my 3rd cruise, but ever since I did book off of the ship, meaning with a private company, I've been fine. Hi. saying hi to my cruise neighbors. I've been fine, so don't be afraid to book off the ship. What you do is look online, look at the reviews, make sure that company has done right by its customers. They get you back to the cruise ship in time. Make sure you don't see any complaints that may, make you think twice about taking an excursion with them, because you don't want to take an excursion and it's cheaper, but you don't get what you want, So do your reviews online, and you can book for really cheap with a private company. For example, there was an excursion that was about $80 to $85 a person with the cruise company, and we looked online and we saw the same excursion for about $30 a person. So that's a $50 difference. So if you have a whole family, that starts to add up, So like I said, if your cruise isn't till a few months away, you have time to do your research. You have time to email the company. And I would say don't pay until you get there. So a lot of times they say, hey, you can pay online or whatever, but things change, plans change, and you don't want to give somebody your money and then, have to cancel and then have a problem getting it back, okay? So that's a tip for the excursions. Let's see. And then I'm gonna do a whole separate video about what you should bring on a cruise. But this one is just more about the process of the cruise.